Do you ever feel like you just can't get a good night's sleep anymore? Like you drift off? But it's not the deep, restful kind of sleep you used to have. Or you wake up feeling just as tired as when you went to bed. Maybe you chalk it up to just getting older. That aches and pains or a busy mind are just part of the package after 70. And yes, our bodies do change. Absolutely. But what if some of the very things we do every single night before we close our eyes are quietly, almost sneakily, making things worse? What if there are 6 common bedtime habits that are actually working against your health, energy, and even your happiness? Habits you might not even realize are harmful. It's a painful reality for many that sleep becomes more elusive or less refreshing as the years go by, leading to tired days, feeling foggy, and just not having the energy you want for life's pleasures. But there's a secret here. A gentle truth: you have more control than you think. In this video, we're going to uncover these 6 surprising bedtime habits that can quietly destroy your health after 70 and talk about simple, gentle ways to shift them. These aren't drastic changes, but small, powerful adjustments that can make a world of difference in how you feel when you wake up and throughout your day. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you. So, let's gently explore the first habit that might be getting in the way of truly restorative sleep and, in turn, impacting your overall well-being. This one might seem obvious, but its impact, especially as we get older, is often underestimated. We're talking about excessive screen time or exposure to really bright lights close to bedtime. Now, I know, many of us love winding down with our favorite show on the tablet, scrolling through pictures of the grandkids on our phones, or even reading on an e-reader right there in bed. It feels relaxing, doesn't it? Like a modern-day comfort blanket. But here's the quiet problem: these devices, and even bright overhead lights, emit what's called blue light. Our bodies are incredibly sensitive to light. For thousands of years, the setting sun meant it was time to wind down, and darkness signaled our bodies to start producing melatonin, that wonderful hormone that tells us it's time to sleep. Blue light mimics daylight. When your eyes are exposed to it, especially intensely, your brain gets confused. It thinks, oh, the sun's still up. No need for melatonin yet. Now, this isn't just a minor annoyance. As we age, our bodies naturally produce less melatonin anyway. Our sleep architecture changes. We tend to spend less time in those deep, restorative stages of sleep and more time in lighter sleep or waking up during the night. So, when you add the suppression of the already reduced melatonin production caused by blue light right before bed, you're essentially telling your body not to prepare for sleep when it needs to the most. Think about it. You might feel tired. You might want to sleep. But your internal clock is being tricked into thinking it's still broad daylight. This doesn't just make it harder to fall asleep. It can also affect the quality of the sleep you do get. You might find yourself waking up more often, or just feeling like the sleep wasn't deep enough. The long-term impact of this isn't just feeling a bit groggy. Chronic poor sleep due to disrupted circadian rhythms, that's your body's natural sleep-wake cycle, has been linked to all sorts of health issues that can be particularly concerning after 70. It can affect your cognitive function, making you feel more forgetful or less sharp. It can impact your mood, making you feel more irritable or low. It can even affect your physical health, potentially playing a role in things like managing blood sugar levels, maintaining a healthy weight, and supporting cardiovascular health. It's a quiet erosion of your well-being, happening while you're simply trying to relax before bed. So, what's the gentle way to address this? It's not about giving up your beloved devices entirely, but about creating a buffer zone. Try setting a goal of turning off screens, phones, tablets, laptops, even the main television, at least an hour, ideally 2, before you plan to go to sleep, instead of scrolling or watching a gripping drama. What else could you do? Maybe listen to a calming podcast or audiobook. Perhaps read a physical book under a dim, warm light. Have a quiet chat with your partner or a family member on the phone, but maybe not right before bed, if it's an exciting or stressful conversation. Do some gentle stretching or listen to soothing music. Create a transition from the bright, stimulating world of screens to the calm, dim world of preparing for rest. You could even try using blue light filtering glasses in the evenings if you absolutely must use screens. But the best approach is still to reduce exposure. Think of this hour before bed as a sacred wind down time, a gift you give your body and mind to prepare for healing and rest. It might feel strange at first if you're used to being glued to a screen, but stick with it. Notice how your eyes feel less strained, how your mind starts to quiet down naturally. This simple shift can be incredibly powerful in helping your body remember how to produce that precious melatonin and prepare for the sleep it deserves. Now that we've gently explored the impact of light and screens on our sleep preparation, let's smoothly move on to the second habit that can be a quiet health destroyer after 70. This one involves what we put into our bodies, specifically late in the evening. We're talking about eating heavy meals or drinking stimulating beverages right before bed. It's common, isn't it? Maybe a late dinner, a final cup of coffee or tea, or even a glass of wine or a sweet treat to cap off the day. It feels like a natural end to the evening. But for your body, especially as your digestive system and metabolism might have slowed down a bit over the years, this can be a significant amount of work right when it should be transitioning into rest mode. Eating a large, heavy meal close to bedtime diverts energy and blood flow to your digestive system, instead of preparing for sleep and repair. Your body is busy breaking down food, trying to process fats, proteins, and sugars. This physiological activity can keep you feeling physically uncomfortable or even slightly alert. Lying down with a full stomach can also increase the likelihood of heartburn or acid reflux, which is incredibly disruptive to sleep and can become more common as we age, even if you don't experience conscious discomfort. Your internal systems are working hard, which isn't conducive to falling into a deep, restful sleep. It's like trying to park a car that's still running its engine at full speed. And then there are the beverages. Caffeine is an obvious culprit. A cup of coffee or even certain teas in the evening can keep your mind and body buzzing long after you want to wind down. The effects of caffeine can last for several hours, and while you might have been able to tolerate it later in the day when you were younger, your metabolism might be slower now, meaning it takes longer for that stimulant to clear your system. You might fall asleep, but the caffeine can lead to more fragmented sleep, meaning you wake up more often, even if you don't remember it. Alcohol is another one that's often misunderstood. Many people think a glass of wine or a nightcap helps them relax and fall asleep, and it might help you drift off initially. But alcohol is a sedative, not a natural sleep aid. As your body processes the alcohol during the night, its sedative effects wear off, and it actually causes rebound wakefulness. You might find yourself waking up wide awake in the middle of the night, unable to get back to sleep, or experiencing lighter, less restorative sleep in the latter half of the night. Plus, alcohol can disrupt breathing patterns during sleep and increase the need to use the bathroom during the night. Adding more interruptions. Sugary snacks or drinks close to bedtime can also be problematic. A sugar rush can provide a brief burst of energy, followed by a crash, while the crash might make you feel sleepy initially. Blood sugar fluctuations during the night can also disrupt sleep. The gentle adjustment here is about timing and choices. Try to finish eating your main meal at least 2 to 3 hours before your planned bedtime. This gives your digestive system ample time to process the food before you lie down. If you get hungry in the evening, opt for a small, light snack that's easy to digest. Maybe a small piece of fruit, a handful of nuts if they agree with you, or a small bowl of plain yogurt. When it comes to drinks, switch to water. Decaffeinated herbal teas like chamomile, or warm milk in the hours leading up to bed. Try to avoid caffeine after the early afternoon. And consider if that evening alcoholic drink is truly helping your sleep or subtly harming it. Experiment with cutting back or skipping it for a week or two and see how your sleep changes. Making these gentle shifts in when and what you eat and drink in the evening can make a significant difference in allowing your body to naturally transition into rest mode instead of being busy with digestion or fighting off stimulants. It's about respecting your body's need to wind down and prepare for the essential work of sleep, allowing it to focus on repair and restoration rather than processing that late-night snack or drink. Moving on from what we put into our bodies and what we expose our eyes to. Let's consider habit number 3 that can quietly undermine your health after 70. This one might seem counterintuitive to some, as we often hear about the importance of routine. But it's about the lack of a consistent bedtime routine, or, on the flip side, having a routine that's too rigid or stressful. You see, our bodies, and especially our sleep-wake cycles, thrive on regularity. Think of your body as having an internal clock, a master timekeeper called the circadian rhythm. This clock helps regulate when you feel awake and when you feel sleepy. For this clock to work smoothly, it needs consistent signals. Going to bed at drastically different times each night, or waking up at vastly different times each morning, even on weekends, sends confused signals to this internal clock. One night you might stay up late watching a movie. The next you might try to go to bed extra early because you're tired. This irregular schedule disrupts your body's natural rhythm. Your body never quite knows when to start winding down for the night or when to prepare to wake up feeling refreshed. This inconsistency can lead to difficulty falling asleep, fragmented sleep, and feeling groggy or out of sorts during the day. It's like constantly changing time zones without leaving your home. While younger individuals might bounce back from this more easily, the internal clock becomes somewhat less flexible as we age. Disrupting it regularly can have a more pronounced negative impact on sleep quality and duration. On the other hand, some people might try to impose a routine that's too rigid or involves activities that are actually stressful or stimulating instead of calming, forcing yourself into bed at a precise minute when you're not feeling sleepy, or having a routine that feels like a chore rather than a gentle transition, can also create anxiety around bedtime, which is the opposite of what you need for good sleep. A stressful routine might involve reviewing bills, engaging in emotionally charged conversations, or trying to solve complex problems right before bed. The gentle adjustment here is about finding a rhythm that works for you and creating a relaxing, consistent bedtime ritual, not a rigid schedule. Aim for a consistent bedtime and wake-up time most days of the week. Give or take 30 minutes, even on weekends. Try not to deviate too much from your weekday schedule. This helps reinforce your body's natural sleep-wake cycle. The hour or so leading up to this consistent bedtime should be your wind-down ritual. This ritual is key. It's not about doing specific things at specific times down to the minute, but creating a sequence of calming activities that signal to your body and mind that it's time to prepare for sleep. This might involve the things we talked about before: turning down lights, avoiding screens, perhaps listening to quiet music or an audiobook. It could also include taking a warm bath or shower. The drop in body temperature afterward can promote sleepiness. Doing some gentle stretching or relaxation exercises, or spending a few minutes writing down any worries or to-do items in a journal so they don't swirl around in your head when you're trying to sleep. The goal of this ritual is to create a peaceful buffer zone between the activities of the day and the stillness of the night. It helps you transition from the state of being on to the state of preparing for rest. It's a signal to your brain to start slowing down. Find what feels truly relaxing and enjoyable for you. It should feel comforting and calm, not like another item on your to-do list. By creating and sticking to a gentle, consistent bedtime ritual, you're helping to regulate your body's internal clock, making it easier to fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling more refreshed. It's a powerful, yet often overlooked, tool for supporting your sleep and overall health as you move through your 70s and beyond. Now, let's talk about habit number 4, which is closely related to that winding down process we just discussed. This habit involves not creating the right environment for sleep. You could do everything else right. Avoid screens, eat early, have a consistent routine, but if your bedroom itself isn't set up to be a sanctuary for sleep, you're putting up unnecessary roadblocks. Think about your bedroom. Is it dark enough? Is it quiet? Is the temperature comfortable? Many people underestimate how sensitive we become to light and noise as we age. The same amount of light or noise that might not have bothered you in your younger years could be quite disruptive now. Even small amounts of light from streetlights, electronics, or a hallway can interfere with melatonin production. Noise, whether it's traffic outside, a ticking clock, or even the hum of appliances, can make it harder to fall asleep or cause you to wake up during the night. Even if you don't consciously remember hearing it, your brain still registers the sound, and it can pull you out of deeper sleep stages. Temperature is another critical factor. Our bodies need to cool down slightly to initiate and maintain sleep. A bedroom that's too warm can lead to restlessness, tossing and turning, and difficulty staying asleep. Conversely, a room that's too cold can also be uncomfortable and disruptive. Finding that sweet spot temperature-wise is important. Beyond light, noise, and temperature, the overall feeling of the room matters. Is it cluttered? Is it comfortable? Is it a place you associate primarily with sleep and relaxation? Or is it also your office, your entertainment hub, and your storage unit? Using your bedroom for too many non-sleep activities can weaken the association between the room and sleep in your brain. If you spend hours watching TV, working, or worrying in bed, your brain might start to see the bed as a place of alertness or stress rather than a place for rest. The gentle adjustment here is about transforming your bedroom into a dedicated sleep sanctuary. Make it as dark as possible. Consider investing in blackout curtains or blinds to block out external light. Cover up or turn off any electronics that emit light. If you need a nightlight, use a very dim one with a warm hue. To combat noise, try earplugs, a white noise machine, or a fan. White noise or gentle ambient sounds can help mask disruptive noises and create a consistent, soothing sound environment. Pay attention to the temperature. Most sleep experts recommend keeping the bedroom cool, typically between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, around 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. But find what feels comfortable for you. You might need extra blankets that you can easily shed if you get warm. Finally, try to reserve your bed and bedroom primarily for sleep and intimacy. Move activities like watching TV if you can, working, or paying bills to another room. If you enjoy reading in bed, that's generally fine. But if you find yourself lying awake reading for hours when you intended to sleep, it might be better to read elsewhere until you feel genuinely sleepy, and then move to bed. Creating this optimal sleep environment sends strong signals to your body that this is the place for rest, reinforcing your natural sleep drive and helping to prevent those quiet disruptions. Moving forward, let's delve into habit number 5, which is less about the physical environment and more about our internal state, dwelling on worries or stressful thoughts when you're trying to fall asleep or when you wake up during the night. This is incredibly common, isn't it? The moment your head hits the pillow, suddenly your mind becomes a busy highway of thoughts, replaying conversations, worrying about future appointments, fretting about family, or just listing all the things you need to do tomorrow. It's as if your brain saves all its processing for the quiet moments you've set aside for rest. This mental chatter is a powerful enemy of sleep. Especially as we age, chronic stress and worry can increase the production of cortisol, a stress hormone that promotes alertness. High cortisol levels at night make it very difficult to relax, fall asleep, and stay asleep. For individuals over 70, there can be unique sources of worry, health concerns, financial anxieties, concerns about loved ones, navigating loss, or adjusting to changes in lifestyle. Bringing these worries into bed creates a state of mental arousal that directly conflicts with the state of relaxation needed for sleep. You might find yourself tossing and turning, your heart rate increasing slightly, your muscles feeling tense, your mind racing. This isn't a restful state, it's a state of fight or flight, or at least hyper-alertness, and it's profoundly disruptive to your sleep quality and duration. And the irony is, the less sleep you get, the harder it can be to manage stress and worries during the day, creating a vicious cycle. Poor sleep can make you feel more irritable, less resilient, and more prone to negative thinking, which then feeds back into bedtime worries. The gentle adjustment here isn't about eliminating worries entirely. Life inevitably brings challenges and things to think about, but about developing strategies to manage them before they get into bed with you. This is where that bedtime ritual we discussed comes in handy. Building in time. Before you get into bed to process or release worries can be incredibly effective. One popular technique is worry time. Designate a specific 15-20 minute period earlier in the evening, say, after dinner, but well before your wind-down time to actively think about your worries. Write them down. Just the act of putting them on paper can help get them out of your head. For each worry, briefly consider if there's anything you can do about it right now. If yes, write down one small action step you'll take tomorrow. If no, acknowledge the worry. Remind yourself you can't solve it right now, and commit to letting it go until your next designated worry time. Another powerful tool is mindfulness, or simple relaxation techniques during your wind-down ritual. This isn't about emptying your mind, that's often impossible, but about gently observing your thoughts without judgment and bringing your focus back to the present moment. Maybe your breath or a calming sound. Progressive muscle relaxation, where you tense and then release different muscle groups in your body, can help release physical tension that often accompanies mental stress. Gentle stretching or yoga can also be helpful if you wake up during the night and your mind starts racing with worries. Try not to lie there getting frustrated. If you can't fall back asleep after 15-20 minutes, it's often better to get out of bed, go to another dim room, and do something quiet and non-stimulating. Read under a low light, listen to soft music, or practice some quiet breathing exercises until you feel sleepy again, and then return to bed. The key is to avoid associating your bed with frustration and worry. Learning to gently set aside worries and cultivate a sense of calm before bed is a skill that takes practice. But it's a truly powerful way to protect your sleep and, by extension, your health and peace of mind after 70. And finally, let's address habit number 6, another quiet destroyer of sleep and well-being after 70. Spending too much non-sleep time actually in bed. This might sound odd, especially if you're someone who enjoys the comfort of your bed. But hear me out. We touched upon this when talking about the sleep environment. But it deserves its own moment because it's a habit that can deeply confuse your brain's association with your bed. It's easy, especially perhaps after retirement, or if mobility is a challenge, to spend significant portions of the day in bed, maybe reading for hours, watching multiple movies, eating meals, talking on the phone with friends for extended periods, or even doing hobbies like knitting or crafts while nestled under the covers. The bed becomes the center of your universe, a comfortable base for all sorts of daytime activities. The problem with this, similar to using the bedroom for too many non-sleep activities, is that it weakens the crucial mental link between your bed and sleep. Your brain is constantly learning and making associations. If your bed is the place where you are alert, engaged, entertained, or simply awake for many hours during the day, your brain starts to associate it with being awake, not with falling asleep and staying asleep. Then, when you actually try to go to sleep at night, your brain receives conflicting signals. It's like telling someone, okay, this is where you work all day, but now, at this specific time, this spot is only for sleeping. turn off your brain and go to sleep. It becomes much harder for your brain to flip that switch from alertness to rest. Furthermore, spending excessive time sedentary, even if it's in a comfortable bed, isn't great for overall health. It can contribute to muscle stiffness, joint discomfort, decreased circulation, and reduced overall energy levels during the day, which paradoxically can make it harder to feel genuinely tired at night. Our bodies are designed for movement and activity during the day, followed by a period of rest, when the lines blur and the bed becomes the primary location for both activity and rest. It disrupts this natural rhythm. It's a subtle shift, often born out of comfort or convenience, but its impact on reinforcing poor sleep patterns can be significant over time. The gentle adjustment here is about reclaiming your bed as a space primarily for sleep and intimacy. This doesn't mean you can never read in bed or have a quick chat on the phone, but the majority of the time you spend in bed should be dedicated to actual sleep. Aim to get out of bed within 15 to 20 minutes of waking up. Even if you didn't sleep as well as you'd hoped, resist the urge to linger for hours reading the paper or checking emails. Move daytime activities like watching TV, reading for extended periods, or spending hours on the phone to a comfortable chair or sofa elsewhere in your home. Make a conscious effort to spend your daytime hours in other parts of your living space, engaging in activities that keep you gently moving or mentally engaged outside of the bedroom. This helps reinforce the association in your brain. When I'm in my bed, it's time to sleep. By spending your day in more active or upright positions elsewhere and reserving your bed for sleep, you strengthen the natural cues that promote sleepiness when it's actually bedtime. This simple boundary setting, treating your bed as a dedicated space for rest, is a powerful way to support your body's natural sleep drive and improve the quality of the sleep you get, which in turn supports your health and vitality after 70. We've covered 6 areas where common bedtime habits can quietly, over time, undermine our health and sleep quality after 70. We've talked about how bright lights and screens confuse our body's internal clock, how eating or drinking the wrong things late can keep our digestive systems busy when they should be resting, how inconsistent sleep times disrupt our natural rhythms, how not making our bedroom a dark, quiet, and cool sanctuary creates physical barriers to sleep, how letting worries into bed keeps our minds buzzing, and finally, how spending too much non-sleep time in bed weakens the crucial association between our bed and actual rest. It might feel like a lot to take in, but please remember, these aren't rigid rules, but gentle invitations to make small, conscious shifts. The painful reality for many is feeling tired, run down, and less vibrant, and it's easy to feel helpless against the tide of aging. But the beautiful truth is, even at 70 and beyond, your body is remarkably resilient and responsive. Making even 1 or 2 small changes to your bedtime habits can start a ripple effect, gently nudging your sleep back towards a more restorative state. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. Perhaps you start by turning off screens 30 minutes earlier tonight, or swapping your usual evening beverage for chamomile tea. Maybe you focus on making your bedroom just a little bit darker, or you try writing down your worries for just 10 minutes before your wind-down ritual begins. Be patient and kind to yourself. Changes take time to become habits, and the effects on your sleep might not be immediate, but they will come. Think about the simple joys a little more energy and clearer mind could bring. Enjoying time with loved ones more fully, having the motivation for a favorite hobby, or just feeling more present and engaged in your day. These gentle adjustments to your bedtime routine aren't just about sleep. They're about reclaiming vitality and enhancing your overall quality of life. You have the wisdom of experience on your side, and you have the power to make choices that support your well-being. Remember, small changes can make a big difference to your health and happiness. I hope this has given you some helpful insights and gentle ideas to consider. Which of these habits resonates with you the most? Or perhaps you've already made changes to your bedtime routine that have helped you sleep better. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Sharing what works for you can be incredibly helpful and encouraging to others in our community. If you found this video helpful and want to see more content like this, focused on living your best life at every age, please give it a like. It really helps the channel and lets me know this information is valuable to you. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos filled with practical tips and encouragement. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Keep living your best life at every age.